capitalization of earnings basis. Capitalization of earnings basis. Capitalization of earnings basis. Look at the word. Capitalization of earnings. Capitalization of earnings. That gives you a hint even of the formula. Capitalization of earnings. This is a variation of the earnings basis. It is a variation in which the actual profit or average profits or even future maintainable profits that are meant for equity shareholders, which are then capitalized on the basis of a given rate of return or on the basis of capitalization. So the capitalized value of the earnings is then divided by the paid up equity share capital and then multiplied by the face value of the share. Understand? So under using this method, the value of a share, capitalization of earnings. You are going to have, first of all, the capitalized earnings. Capitalized earnings, which we divide by the paid up equity capital. Paid up equity capital. Then we multiply by the face value of the share. Capitalized earnings divide paid up equity capital, paid up equity capital. Then we multiply by the face value. Do you have an illustration? Yes. Wazito Limited has 5-year weighted average earnings on an after-tax basis of 581 million. It has been determined that the appropriate rate of return for this type of business is 21.32%, that is after tax. Wazito Limited has paid up share capital of 30 million shillings each, with the par value of 25 shillings and non-operating assets of 77 million, which are assumed to have zero future growth. So we are to calculate the value of Wazito's share based on the capitalization of earnings method. So what is the value of the share? So this is the formula for the value of the share. So we have the paid up equity capital, we have the face value of the share, but when you look at the capitalized earnings, we may need to have an adjustment to the capitalized earnings because of the 77 million non-operating assets and non-operating assets of 77 million, which are assumed to have zero future growth. Do you see that? So we may have to adjust the capitalized earnings to take into consideration or into account the value of non-operating assets. So we need to have a working here for capitalized earnings. So the net assets was Zito has 5-year weighted average earnings on after tax basis of 591 million. So those are net earnings which will capitalize. Okay, so the net earnings $591 million. The capitalization rate is 21.32%. 21.32%. 21.32%. So if you are to multiply the net earnings by the capitalized rate, how much is it? Give me the amount, net earnings times capitalization rate. The decimals. Let me just have this thing here so that we don't confuse. So the total, did you say 126,001? 126,001. Is it 200? Yes, that's the total. Then we deduct these assets, the non-operating assets. Of 77 million. That will give us the adjusted capitalized earnings. How much is it? So this is the net value of capitalized earnings. You can see 49,001. 200. Yeah, so this is equal to 49,001 200 divided by the paid up equity. The paid up equity is it 30 million times the face value is 25 shillings. So what is the value of the share? Now, candidates, for those of you who are preparing for exams, it's important for you to memorize the formula. Then you need to understand the examiner may not just give you these values in the question. The examiner may not give you all the values. You may have to have some workings in order to arrive at the right inputs. So first of all, get the formula right. Put it down. Then check from the details provided in the question, do you have these inputs? If there are no inputs in the question, then you have workings.